All right. This is the best experience with your host, Nick Best and the Angry Dad. And before we get into today's podcast, I'd like to thank our podcast sponsors, Barbell Apparel, premium athletic wear engineered for performance with a tailored athletic fit, refined clothing for an athletic body type. Evolution Athletics, a supportive gear company owned by Brian Shaw, four-time world's strongest man and strongest man on earth. We believe in all athletes supporting their journey towards greatness. Iced Up Industries, the best ice baths, ice plunges on the market, and you can get $50 off with code BEST at checkout at icedupindustries.com. Make sure you guys go check it out. Use the link in the notes. It really helps us out. We appreciate it. And with that all being said, Nick, it's been a week. Morning. You know what I'm saying? We're up early. We're getting this done. We got a lot of stuff coming up. I just want to make a quick announcement for us. We are going to be in Sacramento area at the Winter Warrior. Nick is going to be doing the judging. So if you guys want to come see Nick, hang out with Nick, or just come watch the events, well, guess what? You can easily do that. It'll be at the Winter Warrior in Sacramento. I'll put the address. It's at Untamed Gym. And Nick, are you excited to actually be coming out this way and judging?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to coming up there and hanging out with you guys and seeing Gina and going through all that stuff with everybody. It's going to be a blast. It's a heck of a place to train and stuff. So it's going to be neat to see a contest run there. So it'll be fun. And then I just like talking to everybody and coaching while I'm judging and everything else. So it's going to be cool.
Oh yeah, it's definitely be good. And this is the thing too, like what competitors and stuff like that are actually going to be there. It's that mind focus, that thought process you need to have to actually, be ready to compete. Because there's training mindset, and then there's game day mindset. You know what I'm saying? What do you think the big key factors in the two differences are?
Well, one, you have to realize training is exactly that. It's training. It doesn't have to be, you want it as close to the competition as you can. You want your technique on the individual events as close to what you're going to do as possible. But if you got it that day, you got it. If you don't have it that day, it's okay. You don't have to push over the edge and drop the hammer completely down in training. You should train hard. You should train intensely. And, more is not necessarily better. Better training is better. But the mindset shouldn't be, it's game day. It's practice for game day. So you're going to go hard. You're going to go into the, 85 to 95 percentile, in that range somewhere, but you don't push that little extra. That's saved for game day. You always just leave a smidge of the tank, a little bit, and that's where you ride the fine line, and it keeps you from getting injured. Your training's better. You last longer, stuff like that. So it's better. Training is exactly that. It's training. If you're, if 1 week you're an inch below parallel on your squats and the next week you're a half an inch high, okay, it's not the end of the world. It's training. The only day it truly matters is game day when you're up on the platform. And that's when you got to do what you're supposed to do. But you need to practice that in training. But again, you want to be as close to what you're doing in the contest. But if it's not quite right on any one given day, it's not the end of the world. It's just you got work in. And the important thing is getting the consistent, methodical work in to produce the result that you want on game day. Game day, you just drop the hammer. I mean, everything's all out. You're focused. You get your mental preparedness there. You visualize. You go through things in your head over and over on what you're going to do on that particular event. And then once you do that event, you have amnesia. You move on to the next event like that last event didn't even happen. And you go through each one like that and try to get every point possible that you need to be in the position that you're looking for at the end of the contest. And if you're in a lead and you're dominating and you're doing well, then you don't necessarily need to push to that line. If you can save it in the tank for another contest on the line and not get completely beat up and yet still win the contest, the object is to win the contest. It isn't to, set a PR every time you go, because not a whole lot of people alive can set a PR every time they step on a platform. And eventually you get to where you're at the peak of your performance level, and that's where it's at. And some days you're going to be close to that PR, and some days you're going to be over that PR, and some days you're going to be a little behind the PR. That's okay. Just go do the best you can on that any given day.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. And with all that mindset, and you talking about this right now, a lot of people, for those who aren't familiar with strongman, those who are just stepping into strongman is a smart game, a smart man's game. All right, and this is something I've come to learn because, like, one of the things that and just from conversations with Nick, conversation with a lot of other strongmen, it's just not a game of lifting up the heaviest thing and putting down the heaviest thing, because this is a competition, this is a show, and there is so much strategy that goes into this. And with the strategy and the thought process, and like the methodical thought process that has to go into every event, and with points and all the way everything's calculated up, there's a whole other aspect that most people don't even think about. And that's the thing too, is like, that only comes with experience. And Nick, you got all the experience with that, because I've heard you say so many things that I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're not the biggest, and you're not, I mean, granted, I was blessed with some talent. I was blessed with the drive. I was blessed with, a willingness to hurt more than someone else. And that's okay. But I wasn't put in Brian's body, Thor's body, these other things. And the other parts is I'm not willing to take the extreme measures that others were willing to take. So I had to be better and learn how to do the events that best fit me in the way that, I could get the most points out of them. And everything that I did, you got to figure it out. I was way older when I got started. I got started with most people. Their career's been over for 5 years, and I'm going to Worlds at 41. So it's you have to think about these things. You have to think about motion and movement and efficiencies on everything that you do to save a half a second here, a half a second there, or make things easier, like wearing a belt in sandbag medleys, or just like any medley like that, and learning how to properly use the belt makes a big difference. And it's not about you're already in a strongman contest, so it's not about being the guy that can make it the hardest on themselves and still do it. It's about make it as most efficient as possible and saving the most energy for the next event. And then the last event, you just let everything you got left go. It's not rocket science, but you still have to think about what you're doing. And the competition now is not like it was, 20 years ago. I mean, guys have a lot access to a lot of the equipment now. Guys, there's much more training online, and you see what a lot of the top guys are doing online. And if you watch a lot of the videos, you can learn a lot of stuff from them. But you got to know what you're looking for when you go to look at it. You look at their feet and their hands and how they grab things and stuff like that. I mean, there's so much there that people just still don't realize.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things that, and we got the Mitchell Hoopers of the world who just have a God-given talent to
Yeah,
see
but he's
something
also
and analyze something.
he's super analytical, and
Hmm.
he will walk up and ask people questions and listen to them. It's not like he gets an answer and he's like, I don't know. He like literally sifts through it and goes, well, yeah, let me think about that. And then he'll actually try it. And then when it works, he'll walk over and thank you as well. A lot
Hmm.
of guys don't do that. So it's pretty, he's the craziest mixture of all of it. And he's a good dude. So you don't mind helping people like that. And like I said, he's pretty special in a lot of those regards, but he's that type of guy that everything he touches, he's going to be pretty good at. So, I mean, not only does he have the physical prowess, he has the mental prowess, and
Hmm.
he learns things at a very, very, very accelerated level. You know,
Yeah,
he will take the ball and run with it. So, he's going to be a lot for guys to deal with until he's decides he doesn't want to.
yeah,
So
no, 100%.
he's going to be a threat on everything that he walks into.
Yeah, all the levels. And here's the thing too, is like, he's multifaceted in everything he's doing, and he's doing,
Hmm.
for a strong man, he's hit the scene. He hit the scene, and especially after winning, he hit the scene running to literally develop and grow his platform as big as possible.
Hmm.
And it's so great to see because, like I said,
Hmm.
Martins,
Yep.
Eddie, Brian, you know what I'm saying? Like they've taken this sport and given so much to it to help promote it, to help grow it, to
He-
help push it
Thor
forward.
too.
And he's doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It,
Sedrunas.
yeah, it's Zadrunas. Like I said, there's certain athletes out there that have pushed and promoted and literally carried this sport to the next level. And it's good to see that the younger generation that's coming in, that's starting to pop up, they're wanting to do the same thing too. They're trying
Mm.
to push the sport and not just use the sport as a monetary gain, but let's grow, let's in just the community, because the strongman community is strong. The strongman community comes out. The strongman community, it, like I said, it's very diverse, and that's what I like to see too.
Right.
Because, like I said, you're seeing people of all walks of life come to these shows, watch these shows,
Hmm.
and it's just one of those things that I enjoy the most, just being on the sidelines watching.
Oh yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
exactly. And then, Nick, how your training going? I know you've been working on your squats. I know you've been working on the deadlift.
Hmm.
A lot of people need to remember that it was around this time last year
Yeah, it was
that
a year
you had
ago.
to have stomach surgery,
Yeah.
and you were still continuing to lift in the 6 to 700s after having surgery. You know what I'm saying? A
Yeah.
freak of
Yeah.
nature, a
Well, it took a
beast, a
little while to get
monster.
back there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Training's going fairly well. There's issues. Some days I'm super motivated, and other days it's tough.
Mhm.
Some of it's getting older, some of it's life. Um, but for the most part, I keep trying to analyze things and work on things and change things to better suit what's going on and how my body's reacting to it. Just case in point, this week, uh, I've been having trouble like right at that level where I hit parallel in the squat. And Hatfield squats really help me with a lot of things because I can come down more even with the balance. And then the next week I do squats. So I go back and forth between the two. So I don't develop a groove one way and
Mm.
forget my regular squat groove and have to relearn that. So I go back and forth week to week. And then was, I've always been kind of against box squats, but I was, sitting on, the box that I have, and I was stretching and taking an implement and trying to pull myself forwards and like loosen up my adductors and that type of stuff,
Mm.
and realized that the box I'm sitting on almost has me at perfect depth. One, and then two, it keeps me straight at the bottom because my hips are crooked. So my left side's always a little bit lower, about an inch lower than my right. And some of that's, having the surgeries. Some of that's, my right hip doesn't like me anymore, which is fine. Um, but I started doing the box squats. I just thought, hey, why not put a mixture of the two together? And as I came down and as I touched the box at the bottom, I could feel the left hit, and then I'd keep sitting till the right hit. And I'm like, now this is what it's supposed to feel like when my hips are straight at the bottom.
Mhm.
I can feel that and then come back up. And then so I do that again. And I work the groove, with the lighter weights. And then I come up and I was doing sets of 3 going up once it started getting heavy. But it felt much better because it managed to get me to where, I now remember what it feels like to have those hips straight at the bottom. And that was kind of a big deal. And then it's just little things like that will make a big difference in the long run because I got to fix that imbalance there, and it's going to fix the imbalance. And I ended up doing 3 with 700, which you know it's a lot of weight, but to me, it's to what I've been capable of. It's in the 90 percentile, but it's not you know out of this world. So it's I was pretty happy with the results I got out of it, and it's little things like that. Now, with the stomach surgery and stuff like that, I've been working my abs, but not as much as I would like to have. I'm gonna have to concentrate on that more to develop the rectus abdominis and stuff like that again, in a better way, because I'm having problems pulling myself forwards with my own body. So I have to grab the bar and like wedge underneath it. And I've noticed I'm getting like stomach cramps as I'm like pulling the wedge into the bar and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, now why would I be doing this? Because I have a weakness. So now I got to fix that weakness. And now I'll figure out ways to specifically fix that weakness in that position so that I'll be able to pull off the floor better. That's all.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, my goals that I have set for next year are very achievable.
I mean, this year.
Yeah, this year. Oh my gosh, you lose track of time. Are very achievable. So I just have to be smart and achieve those goals. And then if I exceed them a little bit, great. If I just get to those goals, great. That's where I'm headed. So I'm going to have some further goals at the end of the year, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. That'll come with time. Exactly. So, well, Nick, I think we covered quite a bit for this episode here.
Okay.
I just want to do one little shout out for one of our good friends and other podcast co-hosts. Happy birthday, John Anderson.
Yeah, happy birthday, John. I hope you have a great day.
Yeah, yesterday was his birthday.
Oh, okay. Well,
so he's the big 52.
Ooh, such a young man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, that's it. And Nick, well, let these people know those beautiful words. Let them know what they need to do so then we can shoot on out.
All right. Well, if you enjoyed this, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, train hard, train smart, and be the best you can be. Because in the end, that's all that matters. Have a great day.